Alright, welcome to learning exercise 6.24. Again, we're still with straight line graphs, and now we're looking at the effect of A and Q on a graph as per requirements of government. So although general equations y equal to mx plus c, we can also write it y equal ax plus q. So m now, my gradient is represented by the letter A, and my y-intercept or my cutting point is represented with the letter q. So, number one, we're looking at what effect does A have on the graph. So you can see they have drawn 4 straight line graphs, and take note. There y equal to x, gradient is 1. Y equal to 3x, gradient is 3. Y equal to 6x, gradient is 6. Y equal to 9x, gradient is 9. So 1, 3, 6 and 9 represents my A values. So as you can see, as this A value increased, what happened to the graph? The gradient simply became steeper. So as A increases, my gradient of my graph gets bigger. In Afrikaans ook sê my helling raak groter. Right? So the gradient increases as A increases. That's provided A is positive. Right? So the value of A increases, the graph becomes steeper for positive gradient. See, all those graphs grow from first to third quadrant, therefore they all have positive gradients. Right, if I look now at a negative gradient, so there my gradients minus 1, minus 3, minus 6, minus 9. Assume we know minus 3 is smaller than minus 1, minus 6 is smaller than minus 3. So you see, as I decrease my negative gradient, the gradient of the graph becomes steeper. And how do I know if a straight line is negative? It goes from second to fourth quadrant. So as the value of A decreases, the graph becomes steeper for negative gradient. Right? Now, if you look at what effect does Q have on the graph, so there again I have 4 graphs. As you can see, all of their gradients, all the A values is 1, 1, 1. They have simply changed my Q value, positive 1, plus 3, plus 6, plus 9. So what transpires? As the Q value changed from y to 9, the y-intercept changes and my x-intercept changed. So you see there, y was 1, there y becomes 3, y becomes 6, y becomes 9, my y-intercepts. You see the x-intercept there moves further and further to my left. So as I increase my Q value without changing my gradient, my A value, the graph shifts up, it's translated up, but at the same time I'm also modifying my x-intercepts for a straight line. Right? So as the Q increase, the y-intercept increase. As Q increase, the x-intercept decrease for positive gradient. So Q increase, y-intercept decrease, directly proportional. Q increase, x-intercept decreased, inversely proportional. Right? If you look at negative gradient, if you look at those 4 graphs, the negative x, negative x, negative x. As I increase this value, plus 1, plus 3, plus 6, plus 9, you see there, my y-intercept simply moves further and further up. So they're still directly proportional, but my x-intercept now continues increasing. So as Q increased, the y-intercept increased, directly proportional, and as Q increased, my x-intercept increased for negative gradient, so therefore they are also directly proportional. Hope you understand, and you need to answer this question in exam. I've done it separate. Later on we will do some exam questions and we'll look how it's asked combined. Continue working hard. I guarantee you will become successful. Feel free to ask anything you want to. I will try my utmost best to make sure you understand. God bless. All the best.